Dhurandhar, the revenge. I was looking at the screen and I was like, okay. Bro.
I feel Major Iqbal was a better antagonist and a villain.
Bhai, I was like, oh my god, this was, I clapped.
रहमान डकैत की दी हुई मौत बड़ी कसाई नुमा होती है.
I was like, okay, हल्कू रे, अब तो मारेगा ये.
The sensitive person in me was like, अरे भाई कोई इस इंसान को हॉस्पिटल ले जाओ.
You should go to कौन बनेगा करोड़पति, but just pop culture version.
Hi guys, you're watching Casually Obsessed. This is a pop culture podcast where we talk about everything under the sun, from TV shows, trends, movies, memes. You imagine it, we'll talk about
and
it.
Fashion.
And
Come
fashion.
on.
Of course, let's not
Can't miss out on fashion. I mean, we are fashionable ladies, guys. Look at us.
So those of you who've been following our audio podcast already know us, but now you get to put a face to our names. I'm Aishwarya and I'm usually very pragmatic.
I'm Niharika. I'm the hopelessly romantic one.
And I'm Shruti, a perfect balance of pragmatism and romanticism.
Yes. And if you have heard our audio podcast, you would know that in most cases, me and Aishwarya, we are at odds with each other because we don't agree on stuff.
But this time, I think we're going to flip the script because from our conversations off stage, we know that Niharika and Shruti really don't agree on many things while I'm sort of balanced this time.
And that's very unusual. That's very unusual. We mostly agree on stuff.
Yes, we do.
Yes. And जब नहीं होता तो फिर mostly I am at odds with both of them. And they are like तुम्हारी choice ही खराब
Yes,
है.
Sunny Sanskari, I remember.
Guys, मुझे बहुत bully किया जाता है इस
We should make
podcast पे.
this our joke, like make it official that this is our joke, Sunny Sanskari joke.
Yeah. But anyway, talking about something that is creating a lot of hype.
We're going to talk about
Dhurandhar, the revenge. So we finally watched it. अगर आपने हमारा ऑडियो पॉडकास्ट सुना है, you would know that we left it on a cliffhanger कि हम तीनों में से कौन देखेगा मूवी और कौन रिव्यूज पढ़ के रिव्यू करेगा. But guys, for this podcast हम तीनों देख के आए हैं धुरंधर 4 घंटे की मूवी and we have a lot of thoughts.
No, but I get the MVP because last time only I had watched Dhurandhar 1 by going at 9 o'clock in the morning for the podcast. So I have watched the 8-hour-long saga and I still hold to my view that please, Mr. Dhar, it could have been 4 hours in total, part 1 and part 2. Chalo 5, 2.5.
Yeah,
4 hours was very difficult to sit through in both cases for me.
I know, and for me, last time I did my research. ऐसी रिसर्च की थी that every time either of them they mentioned a scene, I was like ये मुझे सब पता था.
और कहाँ देखा है निहारिका? सोशल मीडिया,
सोशल मीडिया, यूट्यूब, इंस्टाग्राम, हर जगह देखा था मैंने. बट इस बारी मैंने हॉल में देखा है. पूरे 4 घंटे लगा के जस्ट लाइक ऐश्वर्या सुबह 9 बजे जाके देखा है मैंने.
So anyway, Shruti, since you were the last to watch it last night and it's still fresh in your mind, what did you think of it? First impressions.
I really think it is Ranveer Singh's era. He is one Dhurandhar actor and he is here to rule, just like he ruled Layari for a bit. And be it the technicalities, the music, the cinematography, the storytelling, everything. I mean, I have my buts, ifs and buts, but overall, I kind of enjoyed it. Especially this, there was this Arabic version where people are saying that they tried to recreate Rehman Dakait's entry, but I don't think so. They were just establishing the fact that this is Ranveer Singh's era.
I think for me, the cinematography definitely stood out. I mean, the way this entire movie has been executed, it's hats off to the makers, seriously. Whether it's the costumes, whether it's the background scores, whether it's the entire way that, recreation of locations, I don't think I've seen a movie like this in a very long time. And it's definitely for those of you who are planning to watch it. Also, we're going to give a lot of spoilers.
Yes.
So just putting it out there. So listen to this accordingly. But yeah, for those of you who are planning to watch it, definitely watch it in the theater. ये theater में ही देखने वाली movie है. वो vibe theater में ही आएगी.
It has become a cultural phenomenon,
Definitely,
no doubt.
definitely, and rightly so.
What I thought why somebody should watch this film is because of its take on geopolitics. So we've been working in journalism for a long time, and I'm sure you hear words like election manipulation, you hear words like fake currency, you hear extrajudicial killings, which had been a topic of late, but you don't quite understand. You hear narco-terrorism. What does that mean? So when you look at Dhurandhar, you sort of get a real-world example of how the nexus of it is related to geopolitics. There's also talk of Israel and India relations, and you know, it's like from a geopolitical angle, I think we could have a whole podcast just discussing that. But today we'll sort of discuss the nitty-gritty of it. And if you want to have a geopolitical look into it, please comment below, and then we can have another one.
We can talk about it. I think talking about the geopolitics, something जो भाई मैं देख के ऐसे लगी थी कि ये क्या है, was Nawaz Sharif.
I
Oh my
know,
God,
I
the way,
couldn't believe it.
How did they find a doppelganger? I will never
Yeah,
understand.
for a moment I thought they cast him.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at the screen and I was like,
Okay.
bro, what? And he
that
was,
guy is an Indian.
yeah, exactly. And he was barely on screen for like, I don't know, a couple of minutes.
A minute, yeah.
But
not more than a minute.
But I mean, that was so scandalous because they indicated that it was thanks to Ranveer Singh's meddling that he became the Prime Minister, and that was good for India. And I want to say that his daughter, Maryam Nawaz, right now she's the Chief Minister of Punjab, and I was like, oh my God. I just want to add, Maryam Nawaz is the Chief Minister of Pakistan Punjab, in case somebody starts trolling me. That's what I meant. Yeah. By the way, compared to Dhurandhar 1, how did Dhurandhar 2 compare? Because it was a continuation, we must look at it as a continuum.
I feel I like Dhurandhar 1 better than the second part. Given the timing, the duration of the movie, it was 4 hours long, and I couldn't sit for that long. I was bloated, I was hungry. There was so many elements. I had to go to the loo, but I couldn't because something important is happening. I can't miss that. I can't miss the Aditya Dhar's detailing for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I liked even the background score. Dhurandhar 1 was mind-blowing with Shararat, which is still so viral. Yeah, it's everywhere. It has become a wedding staple.
Even Run Down the City.
Run Down the City.
I love that song so much. I mean, I think the entire playlist for the Dhurandhar 1 was just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Too good. Too good. And in comparison, I felt Dhurandhar 2 fell short.
Yeah,
Music-wise, I mean, Ari Ari, I love it. बहुत अच्छा है. The subtle sprinkle of Rasputin.
Oh my God.
I think that was the best part
That
of
was
it.
the best part.
And
oh my
how
God.
can we forget Bappi Lahiri?
Bappi Lahiri, right. Yeah, I mean, we have to discuss and we have to break down Jamil Jamil's the entire thing. We'll get to that.
Do you know he is also based on a real life politician in Pakistan who had said that he doesn't have enough money to sue the makers last time. This time, spoiler alert, they've said that he was an Indian asset because people were already trolling him and saying, "Ki ab check karo, aapka damad is not an Indian spy, please check." And now they've said he's also an Indian spy.
And he was actually complaining that they made me a funny guy. I am a serious person.
But in this film, he would be happy that he's no longer a caricature of a politician, and he comes into his own. So I enjoyed him more this time than the last.
I loved the twist though.
Oh my God.
It blew my mind.
During the end na, I was like, यार अब बस लड़ाई खत्म करो. How are Arjun Rampal and Ranveer Singh not dying? इतनी कितनी body strength है इनके अंदर कि इतना मार पीटने के बाद भी ये दोनों जिंदा हैं. But in the end, you know, when they throw him outside the car in those fields, and then suddenly the second car stops and he sits in, and you see Rakesh Bedi. Bhai, I was like, oh my god, this was, I clapped. In that
Yeah.
moment, I was clapping.
I think everybody
They were,
was.
yeah, loud cheers and hooting.
That was like epic. I think Puri movie mein there were 3 moments for me where I was like, oh my god, ye kya ho gaya? Sorry that I got a little too excited. But yeah, so the first one was I think when Hamza sees Pinda on the
Pinda,
airport.
yes.
In that moment, you know, his entire face goes white, and that was a moment because you were not expecting, because it's a character from his past, and that is something that can really destroy his
Yeah,
entire
blow everything.
Exactly. So and then usse bhi bada twist was just before the interval
Yeah, I was about to mention it.
when Pinda says Jassi ghar ki yaad nahi aayi. Oh god.
At that moment, I thought this man, he's been talking to giraffes before that. And then I thought it was unreal with the amount of clarity he said. And for a moment, I thought, is he an Indian asset? And he too has been sent there, because it didn't make sense. And then suddenly, I think he just had a shot of something, and then he starts, and it took me to the, you remember when he had played in, what was the name? Padmavat, when he looked like that in a very demonic form. Khilji, yes.
While he was hallucinating.
Yes, and it was, and I think people do hallucinate that way, although
It was because of other elements.
so please people do not do drugs, and that's why you should not do drugs.
And that's why you should not do drugs.
The moment I saw Pinda at the airport, I knew that he had to die. He will die eventually.
But I thought he would die of an OD. I didn't that was the easiest way to take him out. I never thought it would be such a...
He died of drugs only. He
No, but
started
it was too much.
hallucinating.
Actually, yeah, I think even though I could not watch that scene, I was like this. Yes. But from what I realized was, I don't think that Hamza was actually trying to kill him. He was just trying to convince him कि भाई मेरी identity reveal मत कर.
No, that was a stupid thing when he said कि he was clearly on the other side, and could he trust him to keep his trap shut?
Yeah, no, possibly not.
I thought Ranveer should have just taken him out.
They have been through emotional turmoil in their personal lives since childhood.
And how do you react to it? People react to trauma in different ways.
अगर ड्रग से नहीं तो मुझे पता था कि रणवीर उसे मार देगा.
But then somehow when I was shocked enough to not actually be able to think कि आगे होगा क्या. My first instinct was ये कहाँ से आ गया यहाँ पर? But I mean,
you remember the court scene? He made him promise to drugs नहीं करेगा.
हाँ, अगर ये drugs करेगा तो शादी मत करियो, इसने अपनी बहन को कहा था.
Like, okay.
But that was a foreshadowing.
Druggy, yes.
But also talking about foreshadowing, in the beginning of the second part, Ajay Sanyal says that you will not, there are going to be certain handlers जो तुम्हें पता भी नहीं होगा कौन होगा.
It could have been him.
But no, it was वो ना
Rakesh Bedi.
Rakesh Bedi.
No, but I actually, when he said, with the clarity he said Jassi, I thought that was unreal, because before that he was totally lost to everybody. And the paranoia, we hear stories of it, that was very real, to think that he's a demon, and the way your mind, I liked it. Yes, I thought it was good.
Right.
That is peak.
That was very good.
But that's something that came after that. I think one of the first most will come later. The second most heartbreaking scene in the movie was when Alam takes over and then he ultimately dies. And the scene that comes later when Hamza goes back to the juice shop and they sit, and he sits there and orders 2 chais. That really broke my heart.
Listen, Alam was Nandu from Jassi Jaisi Koi Nahi, and so I was more upset. I was like, he should always be happy. I mean, he didn't deserve to die that way.
He always had Hamza's back.
Yes.
But I really liked, talking about Major Iqbal, how they showed that why Major Iqbal is like that. The trauma he has been through since childhood.
His origin story.
Yeah, his father's...
emasculating him, belittling him. So they allude to this war with Pakistan when Bangladesh wanted liberation from Pakistan, and we had sent in our army to sort of help Bangladesh. So I thought, and then there is reference to how he had violated a lot of women at that time. So the idea was that he is a product of corrupt and morally corrupt people. So the ISI has been spawned from these men who were involved in such horrific acts, and from the product, and the ISI was a product of that. Might be the English literature major in me talking, but that's how I read it.
Yeah, could be. But also, talking about Major Iqbal, something that I felt in the first film, you could see Rehman Dakait as, like, you know, a proper present antagonist.
Yes.
I felt that that was not the case for Dhurandhar 2. I mean, I feel that thoda aur, you know, stronger role hona chahiye tha.
Slightly disagree.
Okay.
I feel Major Iqbal was a better antagonist and a villain. Because for Rehman Dakait, he was emotional. He was an emotional person.
Yeah.
And he left everything on Hamza and Uzair to handle. Right. He was not that sharp and aware and kind of present in the moment, and his emotion kind of overshadowed his sharpness and his strategy, how to, you know, the political strategy basically. But Major Iqbal was out there. He was constantly looking for that Indian agent, which turned out to be Hamza, right? He was always, remember that Pakistani police who was kind of interrogating everything? Yeah, so he was out there through and through, and he didn't have that emotional quotient to his personality. So
even though, as you
in
talked
that
about
terms, like technical terms, if you ask me कि villain कौन था, then it's Major Iqbal. But persona देखे तो of course Rehman Dakait.
But also, I think that's also the lack of screen time for me. Rehman Dakait had a lot of screen time. Given that Major Iqbal was the main antagonist here, he possibly should have had a little more screen time, is what I feel.
So I feel his Flipperachi performance, the entire sequence overshadowed his villain elements.
Yes, that is.
And I think that has a lot to do with how this Flipperachi blew up on social media.
And that entire scene and how he was dancing.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, when he's just sitting and he's saying, you know, with the smirk which people really enjoyed, कि रहमान डकैत की दी हुई मौत बड़ी कसाई नुमा होती है, and you know, I knew he was creating a moment, and as an audience I could sense that, and it took me out of the film. That is what I want to say. But Arjun Rampal, I really enjoyed him because his performance was very subtle. I don't want to say, like, Akshay Khanna is a great actor in his own right, but his performance was like more on the Sholay level, like, you know, really out there, where you know, with the dancing when he comes in, which we know that he himself
He was a little more animated.
He was very, and it was a different brand of acting, I thought. But Arjun Rampal, he was a little understated and subtle, which I enjoyed more.
And I think which kind of added to, he was this enigma of a person, but who was also, he gave that dangerous vibe.
Yeah. So Rehman basically had two personalities, right? He was soft-hearted as well, but Iqbal was just brutal, and he had a lot of rage inside him and hate for Indians, the country. So I think that kind of make him a better villain.
So we agree that is that Arjun Rampal.
Do we agree
that no? Yeah. So but Niharika felt that.
No, I liked his acting, but मुझे लगा थोड़ा screen time और होना चाहिए था as the main antagonist for the second movie. But talking about the Flipperachi moment. Me and Shruti are again going to be at odds.
Please battle it out.
Okay, let me begin. So, Rehman Dakait's entry. I mean, the scene that went viral, the music went viral, everything. And then they recreated it with Ranveer Singh in part 2. It couldn't live up to the first one.
Come on, they didn't try to recreate it. Niharika, please. Yes. They just want to establish
guys, these are bullies.
No. They just want to establish that Ranveer Singh, I mean Hamza, is the new king of Baloch, and he's the big guy now. And the Balochis could do anything for him, like they did for Akshay Khanna, right? So I don't think that he wanted to give that impression that, listen, we are recreating it, we are giving this sequence for the viewers to compare Rehman and, which happens on social media, right?
Obviously,
Rehman and Hamza. But I felt Ranveer has this lion persona.
Yeah,
He's so ferocious and with the
Babbar
hair.
Sher.
And he's
Yeah.
very quiet as a
Quiet.
spy. That was his USP. I actually, in Dhurandhar 1, people were talking about Akshay Khanna, but there I had loved Ranveer Singh because I kept looking at his eyes. He was speaking through his eyes. He was very subtle. And here also, I think it was in line with his character when he just came and sat down. He's a spy. He can't be flamboyant.
And the background dancers, remember the sequence
Yeah.
when they just jump and the fire the rifle?
Oh God, that was amazing. And that wasn't there in the first
It
sequence,
was
na?
there,
It
but I
was?
think this dance sequence choreography of it was better than Flipperachi.
The previous one. I
yes.
think it also, वो difference वहीं आ जाता है कि वहाँ पर focus थोड़ा अक्षय खन्ना पे होगा because he started dancing.
He started dancing.
Possibly because Ranveer Singh was just walking, so that was essentially not overshadowed.
yeah.
Now again coming back to Akshay Khanna's defense, I thought that there was there was a lot of violence on screen and moments like Akshay Khanna's dance. Now I feel that comparing it to Dhurandhar 2, I felt that it added a bit of levity. And here what happened was that there was so much death and gore that sort of even when Sanjay Dutt, who had been such a big antagonist, he dies, you don't actually feel it because you're numb at that point. So possibly if there had been more breaks, I sort of feel that it might have had a bigger impact. Which brings me back to this theory. Do you think Hamza they allowed Hamza to live with Madhavan pulling the strings? So what did you think of that?
I think that entire ending sequence between Iqbal and Hamza, the rail links and all of that, honestly, firstly, them being alive was like a miracle in its own sense, that both of them were alive till the very end and he didn't die till the kerosene didn't blow him up.
But you have to remember, that Kunal Kamra look-alike, he had been shot so many times in the first one and he just wouldn't die. I kept looking at him. He was not dying.
He looked like a Hulk with Kunal Kamra's lookalike's face. Yes, it was. My God. You know that AI micro drama wala si na Halku re. So I was like, okay, Halku re, ab to marega ye.
He was not dying. And the same with Hamza and Arjun Rampal.
I was like, the comparison was weird because they are showing that machine gun से 4 गोलियां ऐसे दागी और एक बंदा मर गया और ये दोनों मार ही जा रहे हैं एक दूसरे को, चेन से मार रहे हैं, गन्स से मार रहे हैं, वैसे पीट रहे हैं बट वो मर ही नहीं रहे हैं.
That part was pretty predictable because in every Bollywood movie, action especially, which has a lot of gore in it, we know that they'll have this end sequence with just the antagonist and the protagonist and they will extend it to another level.
No, but I thought that since we, even when Sanjay Dutt dies and he was the big antagonist, or even when Arjun Rampal, you're not startled by it. We don't have a reaction to it. But I feel that had Hamza died in service of the country, which happens to so many of our army men.
But also in that moment I was thinking, यार मतलब थोड़ा extra strength दिखा दिया है because this guy इस point पर वो आध मरा है, but somehow he's still not dying. But the post-credit sequence actually made more sense because they showed his training.
Yes.
That entire swimming pool part,
That
then
was
them
amazing.
fighting.
Yes,
That was too good, and I feel that showed that why and how he could actually, hold his own during that entire fight sequence. So made sense, and the the sensitive person in me was like, "अरे भाई कोई इस इंसान को hospital ले जाओ." Even while Ajay Sanyal called that guy कि ठीक है पूरा setup हो गया है and he is going to leave ultimately, तो I'm like अरे भाई उसको airplane पे बाद में चढ़ाना, पहले इसको hospital ले जाओ कोई.
इसके blood तो clean करो भाई.
I
He's
know.
wounded.
Exactly, he's wounded so badly and everything is bleeding. I'm like अरे भाई. And then my last thought was काश एक first aid kit हो उस airplane में. That was literally my final thought when he gets into that.
Yeah. I really want to mention the cussing and the sea of violence and gore in it that made me really uncomfortable. So throughout the first chapter and the second chapter, I had to shut my eyes, like cover my eyes, and I was watching like this. Acha, okay. And I had to clog my ears also because I couldn't hear the screeches and you know, butchering and beheading everything. Remember that? Oh God, I don't even want to talk about it.
After like the first 2 chapters, I kind of wanted to walk out because it was emotionally very heavy.
taxing, yeah.
That entire backstory, the land dispute and everything that it led to, that was too horrifying for me. Matlab, it really, I think that was what kind of numbed me for what was coming ahead.
Yes.
Because it was so jarring, and in the very first half an hour of the movie, I couldn't take that.
It
वो
was-
बहुत heavy था.
Yeah, I think Dhar was preparing us for the entire movie. Ki 2 chapters, tum log, if you survive these 2 chapters, you're gonna end up staying at the theater for like 4 hours. Easily.
Exactly.
Coming back to the plot of the film, so what did you think of Uzair's storyline?
Yeah, that was.
Bichara.
I thought,
Bichara. Yeah.
so my opinion was that they should not have sidelined Uzair so completely, because if like, I think it would have been a better move, because Uzair was so malleable. So we always find in politics also the kingmaker is often stronger than the king. Right, so even when he was killing all of the terrorists, and these were actually real terrorists, because I knew a lot of them, and the others I kept googling if I was unfamiliar with the name. So these people have actually have been accused of being involved in various terror activities, and so he goes, and there's a spate of killing in part 2, as you see.
In the part 2, towards the last 1.5 hours.
Yes. So, but if such a thing happens, it is very unusual if somebody does not claim responsibility for it. So the smarter thing would have been to either deflect it on somebody. Or they had killed Arshad Pappu, but you'd say that, oh, you know, they are the ones who are doing it. If there is no face, of course, he was going to get caught.
Yeah.
So it was not a smart thing, according
just
to me. It was
shun
not
him.
a good chess.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but had Uzair been actually the face of all that was happening, because you know, he was so addled by grief, and he had no sense. You could have just asked him to do anything.
Yeah.
So then
And he would have done it,
He would have
possibly.
done it, and then he would have been taken to be the spy, and Ranveer could have possibly, you know, he would have remained hidden possibly for longer. So I thought Uzair was done dirty.
So this reminds me of Alam and Hamza. They had this conversation at their shop, the juice shop, where they were having tea, and Hamza says कि अब मैं बहुत अंदर अब ये थोड़ा, he tried to say that कि अब personal हो गया है, I want to rule Layari.
Okay.
So I think this was the reason he just wanted Uzair out, but also he didn't want to kill him. Must
You
be
know, in the end, he says that मैंने इसीलिए जिंदा रखा था. That made no sense. He was in jail. Any person with 2 brain cells would think, how is he? Or maybe people can machinate from behind the bars also, but it didn't quite make sense to me. And also, I felt like I know both of you are fans of the twist that came in the end, but
Jameel rocked it. Stole the show.
Stole the show for me too.
I thought it did not make sense, him being an Indian asset
मुझे
at
ये
all.
लगता है Hamza wanted to rule Layari. Saving the country was, of course, his utmost priority, but he also wanted to get in Pakistan politics and rule it, and want to kill everyone personally and not through someone.
No, he could have been the next Jameel, actually, had he let Uzair be there, because he was the son-in-law, right? And he could...
Jameel could have really pushed him into the politics of it.
And if he was also an Indian asset, that would have been the smart way, because he was old at this point. And he, because of Uzair's goodwill, and he would have thought that this is, you know, this man put his life at risk again and again to save my brother, and he would have done, he was his brother in all but blood. He could have done anything for Ranveer at that point. Uzair was done dirty. Mr. Dhar, please, there were plot holes this time. Please tell me, how did Yelena hear this conversation between Chaudhary and you know, I can't hear what people are saying on the next desk to me.
Listen,
is it just me?
This doesn't mean
Does
we
she have
want
bad
Dhurandhar
ears?
3.
I mean, there is a lot of conversation online because of the post-credit scene that there might just be a Dhurandhar 3. Is that the case?
No, there's not going to be a Dhurandhar 3, or it would be a multiverse, because I would like to know about other Indian assets, and I would like to know about Yami Gautam. She suddenly comes.
Yeah, that
I
was
like,
a
what?
break
Who is
into
she?
the whole, like,
It
I
took
was
me
like,
out of
wait
the
a
film,
second,
though.
same.
I was like, what?
But we already knew she has a camera. Yeah,
mean,
it
I
was
didn't-
all
I
over
did
the
not.
internet. Come on.
Shruti knows everything.
Even I didn't know.
You should go to Kaun Banega Crorepati, but just pop culture version. She knows everything usually.
And also something, Aishwarya, you mentioned that while we were talking about Uzair, there was this entire thing that, even the fact that we see that Ranveer Singh has softened a little bit. And there's this entire scene, even both cases mein. Firstly with Ranveer Singh that, he's playing with his kid and sath mein he gets a video of this certain terrorist being killed. Then there is a scene jahan par Ajay Sanyal is sitting in a puja. And then he gets a call that, XYZ person has the guy, I don't remember his name, Mistri.
Mistri, yeah.
Zuhair. The person who the person who was responsible
During
for
the
the Kandahar
Yeah, he has been
yes.
killed. It gave me major...
Zahur Mistri, no?
Yeah, I think so. If we are wrong, please excuse us.
It was Zahur Mistri.
So, that gave me major Godfather vibes.
Yeah.
The Godfather that, he's in that christening and then he knows that in the background people are getting killed. He's sitting in a puja and then he gets the news that, oh my God, that person has
The
been
only
killed.
reason, Madhavan, I was looking forward to it because it gave you a break. He seemed so peaceful doing his puja, walking in corridors. I was like, what a normie. People
Sitting
are
with
killing
his-
each other.
Casually sitting with his kid and threatening, a Pakistani person on call कि हमारे बंदे को वापस भेजो वरना तेरी असलियत निकाल दूंगा.
What is this man even? It was a different universe. It was upside down. I felt it was like, what is even... And here,
From Good Night
the
Beta.
normal was...
Yeah, from
Yes.
good night beta to
वापस
beta, वापस भेज.
No, but coming back to Yalina, do you think that if she had not heard that conversation with her supersonic bat-like hearing, then she would not have possibly known that he was a spy? And then what would have happened when that new SP, he holds her at gunpoint? And if she did not know that he was an Indian asset, that was another plot hole. I didn't think it made sense at all. I think the only reason they wanted her to know was that for that confirmation.
For the final confirmation.
But it was very contrived. It didn't make sense to me at all. At all.
I think वो confirmation, because she was essentially the only one who could have known that whether or not he was an Indian spy. In a confirmed manner कि यही है.
She didn't know for the longest time.
Yeah, she
it is
didn't.
possible that for even during that period she would not know.
Yeah.
And had she not heard Chaudhry Aslam talking about it, and there was no way she was
She wouldn't have
not
figured it
crossing
out.
through. And then it was so convenient. Now the bottle also breaks and she can immediately see what was written and she can make sense of it because everything is written in code. I thought this whole track did not make sense. I mean, it was very contrived. And
Yeah, it was just that Yalina had to find out first. So this is how they kind of wrote her character. But apart from that, I think every character in the movie gave their best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
acting
acting was flawless. Each and every, Ranveer Singh was the king, definitely. He stole
No
the
second
show.
thoughts about it, yeah.
Then I think second was Rakesh Bedi.
Rakesh Bedi was very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
अब देखना Instagram पे कितने followers बढ़ते हैं उनके. I just
he
checked
was-
last night. He has around more than 3 lakh followers
Yeah.
only, which is sad.
I think Rakesh Bedi was the real star.
Star, yes.
Oh, also, what did you...
Aishwarya changing
I
her
didn't
opinion.
I didn't like him in part
he was
one.
so annoying in the
part
first
one,
show.
yes.
Yeah.
Because he would just take me away by being, overtly snaky about
Sneaky,
things. But here he was nice.
Like, ab bade.
But we didn't discuss
Kahan
what did
hai
you
bade?
think of Bade Sahab. I was underwhelmed.
That
I think it was a fair reveal to me. I didn't get overwhelmed and I didn't even get underwhelmed. I was like, Bade Sahab, Daud
I
Ibrahim
thought
made sense.
it would have been some, president of some foreign country or somebody. Why is ISI taking orders from Dawood Ibrahim? Although I don't know.
I think I was not into that sequence at all.
So I thought that. So just because he has the money, that's why he's ISI's boss. Was that the idea?
Possible.
I guess, but I personally I felt that it was a fair reveal to me. Maybe I could be. That was my opinion.
I was not I would have loved it if it had a geopolitical element and it was somebody else who was
Controlling
puppeteering
the whole
Yeah,
Yes.
I was too much into Major Iqbal. I didn't know. Yeah, that he overshadowed this Bade Sahab.
And what did you think of this idea of poisoning Bade Sahab? This was
Honestly, that didn't make sense.
I know it was
Because he was still alive, he was still ordering people to, conduct all these terrorist attacks and do this and get the drugs and the money and everything.
जिंदा रख के तड़पाने का क्या फायदा? Still he's operating.
Yeah, he's still becoming the cause of everything that is happening. So that was a...
Here is what I think, like Aditya, that's why it's called Dhurandhar the Revenge. So this was very focused on revenge. It was not based, I was looking forward to see if they thought there was any solution to this terrorism problem. You cannot, of course, if you eliminate them, there is peace for a short amount of time, until unless you root out the ideology. If they would have even killed whoever the Bade Sahab is, there would always be a second. So I think it was just this fantasy that this man who has made India and Mumbai, वो बोलते हैं Mumbai वाले that's how he's introduced. So who inflicted so much pain on India, you imagine that he's also sitting and suffering. It was just, I think that was the idea of it.
Yeah. Also, I love the last sequence where Ranveer goes to Hamza, Jaskirat. Ranveer as Jaskirat visits his hometown.
That was very hard.
What did you think of the ending? There's been a lot of talk about it.
मुझे
what does it
लगता है
signify?
कि
Why did he not go inside? No, why he did not go inside. A lot of people are
I
discussing
was actually confused initially that he's standing there. Why is he not going? And I asked Aishwarya that, why was that? क्यों नहीं गया वो? But then
he just wanted to see them once, and I think his family made peace with his death. And that would change the entire dynamics.
I thought it would be dangerous for him to go back. But anyway, what made sense for you? What did not make sense to you? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Please add it to the comments below. And in the meantime...
And give love to our podcast.
Yes,
Casually Obsessed.
And we are going to be here every week discussing everything that goes on in the entire world of pop culture, only on Casually Obsessed with me, Niharika.
Aishwarya.
And Shruti.